In the rolling countryside of the central northern part of France, we find this karting Angerville, this 1.2 kilometre circuit, around about 1 hour south of the French capital of Paris. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage of this, the second round of the 2019 WSK Euro Series here in France. In just a few moments, our second final of the afternoon, the OK Junior class, and the karts are on the grid and ready to go with the Dutchman from across the border locking out the front row of the grid. Well, the big talking point this weekend has been the weather. To be polite, it has been changeable. It has been torrentially wet, but we do have a dry circuit for the moment. A few drops of rain on the bitumen just a few moments ago, but the 31 karts are on the circuit with the Vega slick tyres. Well, as I say, the Dutch drivers lock out the front row of the grid. And indeed, for one of them, he's looking to make it a perfect weekend. Thomas ten Brinker took pole position and dominated the heats and the pre-final. How did we get to this point in the weekend? Let's take a look back at the highlights so far this weekend at Angerville. Back in France for the first time since 2008, this is the Angerville circuit, which last hosted the WSK International Series 11 years ago. The 327 Ricky Flynn Motorsport kart of the Dutchman Thomas ten Brinker took pole position in qualifying with his final flying lap and then went on to dominate the heats. This is on board with Alfio Spinner making contact with the Irishman Alex Dunn. 301 Andrea Antonelli in contention for the victory again this afternoon from the second row of the grid. Ten Brinker taking 2 heat wins, James Wharton the third and final heat. The driver who won in Sarno, Nikita Bedrin, not really on the pace this weekend. He did qualify 5th and starts the final from grid number 12, the 6th row of the grid. The Russian Bedrin leads the championship on 92 points to Thomas ten Brinker on 90 points. This is the circuit, one of 2 karting circuits established way back in 1960 after the founder Gabriel Tiron. As I say, around about 1 hour south of the French capital of Paris. There are the Dutch drivers on the front row of the grid. Thomas ten Brinker, 327. Fastest qualifier, there is his mechanic, Ethan Ringo Patterson. Of course, former mechanic for Jumping Jack Doohan when he took out the final round of the European Championships, and he's done the job on the spinners this weekend as Ethan from Liverpool. And up to the left of the grid, this is Robert de Haan. The Dutchman for the Energy Kart team didn't qualify so well, but worked his way back into contention. His last heat last night in changeable conditions went from 15th to 5th. This is Andrea Antonelli, 301 from Bologna in Italy on the second row of the grid. All Italian second row, in fact. Starts alongside the Sicilian, 302 Alfio Spinner. Kart Republic, second row of the grid. The FA kart on pole, the Energy on the outside of the front row. Christian Ho, the Singaporean, also for Ricky Flynn Motorsport on the third row of the grid. There is the driver from the magnificent city-state down on the equator, Christian 324, also for RFM. Alongside Jamie Day, the Dubai-based Brit for the Lennox Racing Team Esprit team, or outfit I should say. There is Jamie from Dubai. Well, he is British. He is on the 6th grid position. The third row, James Wharton, who took the final heat win in the red flag shortened race. Starts out of grid number 7. James from Melbourne in Australia, also for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. They line the inside road. They will charge down to turn number 1 in a few moments. James, grid number 7. There is the Australian for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. The kart's about to be pushed into life. Welcome to Paris. Welcome to Angerville. Welcome to the second round of the 2019 WSK Euro Series. This is Angerville, south of Paris, the city that hosted the Paris E-Prix Formula E Electric Grand Prix yesterday. Around La Place des Invalides, the race won by Robin Friends. As we take a look at the grid, the Dutchman on the front row of the grid, Thomas and Robert. The Italians on the second row, Andrea and Alfio. Christian Ho, Jamie Day, James Wharton and the Irishman Alex Dunn. From London in England, Arvid Lindblad alongside another Dutchman, Laurens van Hoppen. Santiago Tresini, the American, alongside Nikita Bertrand, who won the first round of the series in Sarno. Conrad Lausen, Hugo from America, and the first of the boys from Brazil, Rafael Camara. He's alongside Resico. Christian Mansell is alongside Martinia Stensone, who lines up for Ricky Flynn Motorsport this weekend, wearing Zane Maloney's original race suit from last year. 10th row of the grid, Matias Ferreira alongside M. Flack, who will look to fight back in the pack on this track south of Paris. The number 365 Energy Kart on grid number 20. Another Energy from Carolina, USA, Connor Zilic on the 11th row, alongside the American-born Singaporean Akshay Bora. Wallen Starman, Lesertua, Maxim Soldatov, Vinicius Tesaro, Huang Zhijiang from China, Levente Devesh, the Hungarian. And on the final grid position, the only French driver in this race, Lola Lovenfoss from Paris for Manetti Motorsport to start out of grid number 31. The Dutchman on the front row of the grid, 327, that's TTB, Thomas ten Brinke. Son of Bernard ten Brinke, who won a stage of the Dakar Rally last year. And Robert de Haan, the Dutchman, who took out the Rotax Max Grand Finals in Brazil at the end of 2018. 17 laps the distance. This 1.2 kilometre circuit. The Dutchmen lead them up to the line. The OK Junior Final. The WSK Euro Series is go. Jamie Day shoots across to the inside. Oh, super start from the Dubai-based Brit. Alfio Spinner, the Sicilian, up into second place, but it's TTB who leads the way. Robert de Haan back into sixth position, as Santiago Tresini, the American, climbs up over the back of one of the Ricky Flynn Motorsport karts, and the Venezuelan-born American loses a ton of time and falls back to the mid-pack on this, the opening lap. A move down the inside, Jamie Day fights back. Position number 2 past the Sicilian, Alfio Spinner. Look at ten Brinke. Comes across the line in a few moments' time, and he already has an enormous lead. We'll check the order for you momentarily. Thomas ten Brinke skips away from Jamie Day. There it is on the top left of your screen. Alfio Spinner going through turn number 1. It is not raining. The track is not wet, but it has no grip whatsoever. The consistent showers throughout the weekend mean there's very little Vega rubber that's been put onto the circuit, and the little bit that has been washed off almost immediately. ten Brinke up the back straight. Jamie Day out after the Dutchman. Then it's Spinner, Antonelli, the two Italians, Laurens van Hoppen and Robert de Haan. 3 Dutchmen inside the top 6. Antonelli tucked in behind Spinner. Laurens van Hoppen for Ricky Flynn Motorsport right behind him. The Dutchman, Robert de Haan, in the Energy Kart from grid number 2. That's him in 6th place, 1 spot ahead of the Irishman, Alex Dunn. Across the line, the blind goes down on the radiator, 7/10 of a second between Thomas and Jamie. As Alex Dunn sets the fastest lap at this early stage, there's Santiago Tresini going through and picking up Lorenzo Resico. That's the move for 15th place. Nicely done by the American driver, Antonelli. Oh, up the inside into turn 6. You cannot pass into that corner, but he did. Spectacular from the driver from Bologna. Displaces his countryman, who's under attack from Robert de Haan, climbs over the ripple strip. Spinner is getting slaughtered Super move from Antonelli. The Italian moves into position number 3. Thomas Tambrinka with 7/10 of a second over the rest of the field. Jamie Day is out and after him, and he's actually cut that gap in half. 52 dead for Jamie Day. Fastest lap of the race so far. There is Lawrence Van Hoppen on the back of Andrea Antonelli, the WSK Euro Series. Here in France, it's a grey, gloomy, overcast day south of Paris. The Italian chasing the Dubai-based Brit, but from over the border in the Netherlands, Thomas Tambrinka leads the way. Alex Dunn, the Dubliner, the Islander, there he is, in the 309 Tony Kart into P5. Robert De Haan still stuck in 6th in the energy from the front row of the grid, cannot make inroads this early stage of the race. Alfio Spinner back to 7th place, head of Ugo, Christian Ho and Martinez Stensone rounds out the top 10 on debut for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. Down into turn number 1, 301 is Antonelli. Here comes Jamie Day. Determined, desperate, you could say, to win after losing out on the WSK Supermaster Series in heartbreaking circumstances at Sarno earlier on in the season. The right rear Vega over the ripple strip on the exit to turn number 7. The blind went back up momentarily on Tambrinka. He lost the temperature as Day goes down the inside. Jamie Day leads the way here in France. The Dubai-based Brit is now leading the second round of the WSK Euro Series. The Lennox Racing Team X-Spree Super Drive. Jamie Day means business here this afternoon. What a spectacular move. Thomas Tambrinka, the Dutchman, has now got a fight on his hands. He's dominated the weekend, but after lap 5 of the final, he's been pushed back to 2nd place. The race is on here at Angerville. He's already pulled away. Super start from Jamie Day. Thomas looks behind. He did not expect that. He did not want that. The gap out to 3 or 4 tenths, down into the hairpin at the far part of the circuit. So Jamie Day, the race leader. The Brit from Dubai. Yes, that is correct. Thomas Tambrinka, the Dutchman, 2nd. Antonelli in 3rd. And it's Lawrence Van Hoppen, Alex Dunn, Robert De Haan. There's the energy card on the back of the Irishman. Alex from Dublin. His mother Elizabeth nervously watching on from Dublin. Her boy in position number 5. Not to mention Alex's cousin Noah down in Brisbane, Australia. It's already Monday morning and he's watching his cousin race here in France. Alex Dunn in position number 5, being hounded by the Dutchman Robert De Haan. And it's Christian Ho, Arvid Lindblad going through for Forza Racing. Ugo, the American, up to 9th. And James Wharton, the Australian, rounds out the top 10 ahead of his new teammate, the Norwegian Martinez Stensone. Rafael Camara, the first of 3 Meninos of Brazil. Camara in 12th, head of Lawson. And Nikita Vedran, he won the first round in Sarno. Where is the Russian? Position 14. Vedran drops to 3rd in the virtual championship. If it were to end right now, Tambrinka will take the lead into the 3rd round of the series at South Garda Karting, Lanato on June 23. Jamie Day would be in second place on 105 points. But that's the least of his issues here at the moment. He wants to win outright here in France. The WSK Euro Series ventures out of Italy back to the Angerville circuit. The last time the WSK Euro Series it raced here, it was actually the International Series. It was 2008, it was 11 years ago. Some of these kids were not even born, well, they were just born. They had no idea they'd be racing here just over a decade later. Jamie Day, 14 years of age. He is British, he does live in Dubai. He races for the Lennox Racing Team in the X-Spree Kart. As we mentioned, missed out on the WSK Supermaster Series in heartbreaking circumstances. It appeared that he did take the title by a single point over Antonelli, who is 3rd in this race. There is the Italian who looks behind him, only to have a pushed in nose cone, a 5-second penalty, and with that dropped to 3rd in the series. He was devastated by that. He's still upset. But a victory here this afternoon, and furthermore, the Euro Series would be a magical consolation for young JD. There's Robert Tahan ahead of Christian Ho. Arvid Lindblad for Forza Racing set a string of fastest laps here yesterday in the heats. There's the orange and white Esprit, driver who lives under the flight path of Heathrow Airport virtually. Arvid ahead of James Wharton, who's in 9th, and Ugo Ugachuku from New York, USA, rounds out the top 10 for Rick Gifflin Motorsport. Martinez drops back to 11th. Ahead of Bedrin, Lawson, Kamara, Spinners back to 15th. From Teresini, Matias Ferreira, Lesetua, Zhejiang. Soldatov rounds out the 20 ahead of Christian Mansell, teammate to the race leader, Jamie Day. Christian in 21st, ahead of Lola Lovenfoss. She started on the back of the grid, and she's up into 22nd place. All starters still in the field. The front six, though, the fight is still on. 8 laps. As we take a close-up look of Lawrence Van Hoppen. 3:25 on the back of the Italian, Andrea Antonelli. 7 laps now remaining. The final of the Junior WSK Euro Series race here at Angerville. It's a gloomy, dark, grey day here in the countryside of France. The capital city of Paris, around about 60 or 70 kilometres just up the road. And this magnificent circuit, established way back in the 1960s, the original circuit, which is actually a few metres away from where they're driving now. More than 5 decades old, this is the Angerville track that hosted the European Championships in 2000. The race won by Julien Menard. 174 drivers in the 100cc ICA class on that day. 2006, the World Championships won by David Forte, ultimately his 4th world title. The International Series, raced here in 2008, went back with the Euro Series. And for the moment, it's still a European driver. By that I mean Jamie Day is from Britain, so therefore, for the moment, he still is a European. Come October, that may change. And he leads the way by 0.4 of a second. Antonelli sets the fastest second sector of the entire race with 5 laps now to go. Jamie Day, so determined, is the Lennox Racing Esprit team driver. Across the line, he sets a 50.7. The time is matched by Alex Dunn. The Irishman, purple, fastest lap of the race, Nikita Bedrin. Oh, the Russian goes even faster. Here comes Nikita, the round 1 winner. He's into the top 10. He gets by the American Ugo. He closes in on the back of James Wharton. The round 1 winner now into the top 10. Every point valuable going into round 3 at South Garda Karting Lonato on June 23. Tembrinke starts to close in ever so slightly on Jamie Day. He has dominated proceedings this weekend, but he's back in second at the moment as Dunn goes wheel to wheel with Lawrence Van Hoppen and Robert Tahan, the Dutchman in the energy cart. Now into position number 4. Ahead of his countrymen, as we say, 3 Dutch drivers inside the top 6. That was Nikita Bedrin going through in position 10. Closing in on the back of the Australian James Wharton, the Russian who won at Sarno. Currently 3rd in the series on 99 points. If it was to end right now, Jamie Day would be second with 105 and Tembrinke would take the lead into Lonato on 130 points. Just under 4 laps remaining. Thomas shadows Jamie. This race will come alive because Antonelli is catching both the Dutchman and the Englishman. This 1,198 metre circuit. 15 corners, notoriously difficult to pass. It is tight, but they're still doing a good 115, 116 kilometres an hour down into turn number 1. There's Antonelli, Team Rosberg, Kart Republic. Tahan 1 step off the podium. Would dearly love to stand on the 3rd, even 2nd step here this afternoon. Well, can he take a victory from there? At the moment, he's fourth. At the moment, he's the second Dutch driver. Three of them inside the top six, and Ten Brinke goes down the inside and retakes the lead. JD back to P2. Antonelli follows through. Thomas Ten Brinke reasserts himself with just over 2 laps remaining. The WSK Euro Series here in France. Thomas Ten Brinke, the fastest qualifier. He dominated the heats. He won the pre-final. And with 2 laps to the checkered flag, retakes the lead from Jamie Day. Antonelli on the back of Day as he goes down the inside on turn 6. Watch the Italian. Ten Brinke's in the grass. He's virtually out of it. Antonelli sweeps around the outside, goes into P2. Jamie Day retakes the lead. Dahan is on the podium, fighting with Lorenz van Hoppen. This race is on with 1.5 laps to go. Oh, spectacular. Young Andrea Antonelli on the back of young Jamie Day. These superstar racing kids in the WSK Euro Series. The final race across the line for the second to last time. This is the last lap. Ten Brinke back to 7th. He's out of it. He emulated his father, Bernard, who raced in the Dakar Rally, but not in a manner in which he would have wanted. Dahan now, the best Dutchman. He's in 3rd in the energy cart. Antonelli in 2nd. But Jamie Day leads the way up the back straight. Surely the young Dubai base Brit will take victory. The Dutchmen go wheel to wheel. Lorenz van Hoppen down the inside. 4 corners to go. Dahan holds the final podium spot for the moment. He just has to close the door to finish in P3. This is the final corner. The checkered flag comes out. Jamie Day takes a spectacular win here in France, the WSK Euro Series. Antonelli 2nd, and Robert Dahan, indeed the best Dutchman, brings the energy cart home in position number 3. Commiserations for Thomas Ten Brinke. He finishes the race in 6th. He will be absolutely furious. He's dominated the weekend fastest qualifier, heat winner, pre-final winner, but finishes behind Christian Ho, the Singaporean, ahead of the Irishman Alex Dunn. But this is the race winner on screen, 318. From Dubai, it's the Englishman Jamie Day. Takes a fantastic win. He started out of grid number 6. The Vortex-powered Esprit is the race winner in the WSK Euro Series. With that, I can also tell you Robert Dahan has taken the lead in the series, going into Lanato, 106 points. Jamie Day's on 105. Thomas Ten Brinke, 102. This is a replay, the highlights of the race. Thomas Ten Brinke from pole position did everything right. Robert Dahan was immediately back to 6th, even 7th spot. And the race was quite sedate for the most part, until Jamie Day said, no, this today is mine. Ten Brinke fought back with him. Antonelli, great drive from the young Italian. In the Rosberg Kart Republic 301, they went wheel to wheel. Ten Brinke right there in the grass. And that was the end of the Dutchman's race. Day from Antonelli, what a drive from Dahan. Finishing in 3rd, copping a huge whack for his efforts. Absolutely ecstatic. Here's Jamie Day. He wins the WSK Euro Series race here in Angerville. Antonelli 2nd on the podium, and with that 5th in the series. And Robert Dahan, the first Dutchman home in position number 3 here this afternoon. Jamie Day, we'll see him on the top step of the podium here this afternoon. The Englishman from Dubai, but it will be God Save the Queen that we do here in a few moments' time. Stay with us. The WSK Euro Series, the podium presentation from Angerville here in France in just a moment. drivers make their way up to the podium here at Angerville. What a spectacular race, the second round of the WSK Euro Series. The Vega Cap's about to go on here in a moment. One driver to stand on the top step in a moment. Absolutely determined here this weekend, and he will be a delighted winner of this, the second round of the WSK Euro Series here in France. The Dutchman in contention all weekend. And the first one finishes in position number 3 for Team Energy from the Netherlands. Third place, Robert de Haan. Second place here this afternoon for Team Rosberg, the Italian, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. What a fantastic, determined drive. The winner of the second round, the WSK Euro Series. He's an Englishman. He's from Dubai. His name is Jamie Day. The third place trophy to Robert de Haan of the Netherlands. Second place, the Italian, Andrea Antonelli. The winner of the second round of the WSK Euro Series from Great Britain, Jamie Day. And the girls to present the flowers. Third place, Robert. Second place, Andrea. And the winner here in France, it's Jamie, as we stand by for the national anthem of Great Britain. WSK Euro Series here in France. Third place, Robert de Haan. Second, Andrea Antonelli, and Jamie Day on the top step here at Angerville. Stay with us on WSK.it. The OK final live from here in France in just a moment.